Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the brothers pushing us work in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Tamarin from James, Toronto, coming at you with another video. This is another example of why we need to get out of here. Okay? Out of this sinful kingdom. I usually don't I don't eat red meat like that, but I came across something at Costco, which I got the brothers to eat. Right, got the brothers on the bison, because the bison, it's wild. It hasn't been tainted as much. If you want buffalo meat, you have to go hunt the buffalo. Right, there isn't a lot of farms where you can buffalo farm, just like how you have the cows. If you want beef, that's been tainted. That's been a lot of things and chemicals have been added to that meat, right? But here we are. I just looked over to the left, and what did I see? Beef, right? Because I saw it from a distance. I'm like, maybe that looked good for like a barbecue or whatever. But when I looked, it's bacon wrapped around the side of the fucking what do you call it? Is a steak? Cause I'm not really too familiar with red meat as much. I just started to like eat red meat, right? And you have here beef with bacon wrapped around it, man. I don't know when this was a thing, but I started to see that this was a thing years ago when they started to put the bacon on the burgers at not McDonald's. What's the other one? Wendy's and all those. Not Wendy's. Home of the Whopper, whatever you want to call that place, right? These fast food joints. So this is you can't mix the bitter with the sweet, man. Right? This is who we're dealing with out here. We're dealing with the man of sin. Okay? The man of sin. First Thessalonian. The man of sin. First Thessalonian 5. No, Second Thessalonian actually. It says here, let no man deceive you by any means, right? Don't let any person tell you that Esau is not the devil, man. Right? And it goes into many more things. Don't let no man deceive you and bring false doctrine. Don't let any man deceive you and tell you to eat certain things because that's the Old Testament, right? For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And now we're seeing the son of perdition, the man of sin, a man who will mix beef with bacon, with pork, right? It's right against our laws, statutes, and commandments not to eat certain foods, not to eat certain meats, right? But that's the man of sin for you. You can go down and read a little bit more, but this is the point that I'm making. The man of sin be revealed. What does this got to do with anything? What does the bacon and the beef mixing, what does that got to do with anything, right? If it's gonna be one or the other, is either it's bacon or pork, right, or it's beef. Let people at least let these people know. Oh, okay, if you go and eat this pork over here, especially the people, right? So what if you don't pay attention? You pick this thing up and you just like, I'm not saying like one you will if this happens to you by the time you get home and you still fucking decide to put this on your grill, then you're just careless, because this had happened to me before. I had went to this organic spot to get a beef or whatever, because I was just trying this thing out. This was last year, and I didn't read the package properly. It says beef, but then it says beef and pork, right? Two beef and two pork slabs or whatever, something like this. They were round and they were cut out, right? So I'm thinking that it's beef, whatever. Got home, I had to bring it all the way back because I'm not wasn't gonna throw it out and not get my money back. So I came all the way back and got my money back, man. Right? But them mixing the meats together, that goes to show you that they're trying to get you tribes to sin every day, man. Even more and more. Right? This is the perfect example. Let's get Leviticus. Leviticus. I think 11. I think 11. Yeah, 11. And drop down to 7. And it says, and the swine, though he divided the hooves, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Okay? And if you can go into how dangerous it is to eat the pork, to eat the swine, right? But that's just one example that the Lord gave, right? When you go into the parasites that comes out of the pig, the salt, you know. Why do you think a lot of our people right now are suffering from so many diseases? Because they're not following these laws. The dietary laws is a big component of our existence as a nation, right? That's why you see all these people of the nation of Israel, whether it be Latino, whether it be so-called blacks, right? Native Americans, and you confusion of faces too, man. A lot of you have a lot of the complications due to you not following this dietary law. But Esau, his job is to get you off your pivot, right? Off your leads. And this is another example of him throwing you, trying to bump you off your leads, right? Um, let's get everything the Lord made is good. I think it's in Timothy's. Timothy's the 4th chapter. Yep. 1 Timothy 4:4. Since everything Yahweh created is good, we should not reject any of it, but receive it with thanks. When people see things like this, they get gun happy to go and eat whatever they want, right? Let me read the King James Version. For every creature Yahweh is creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving, for it is sanctified by the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai and prayer. Right? When Christians see this, they lose themselves. Okay? They lose themselves, man. Like Eminem. But yes, everything that the Lord had created is good. Right? But not everything is made for consumption, because all those animals, the pig, he has his the purpose why he was created. Right? The purpose of the pig is to clean up the earth. The purpose of the catfish is to clean up the rivers, right? It's not for you to consume. That's why the Lord gave you a dietary law, right? But this man is trying to make you go off your pivot and dive into his world, right? And eat his meats, right? Let's see what happened with Daniel. Daniel Pulse. Daniel Pulse diet. Let's see what happened with the king meat. And I think it's the first chapter in Daniel. Let me get KJV since they're playing games. Daniel 1 and 11. But Daniel appealed to a steward I don't like that version. New American version. Here we go. Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat. Right? When you go into pulse, I'm gonna get that word pulse in a little bit, but I think it's legumes, probiotics, and prebiotics. I think, you know, and water to drink. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Okay? So Daniel went on a strict diet, man. Pulse and water for 10 days. Okay? And the king's, his children went on that diet also, right? His followers, right? To prove a point. Because they're trying to get Daniel to go off and eat the king's meat, right? Just like how they always try to put you Israelites in that vulnerable position, right? To break the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? And if this had, if the king had prevailed in this situation, all the Israelites that was in Babylon would have been eating all of these meats, right? And that would have brought a lot of agues, complications, right? Cancers. This is a big part of why you Jakes are dying, right? There's a lot of things that you should be cutting out of your diet, and you still go off and eat so much things. Like you eat too much. That's the first thing. Eat way too much, and you eat too much of the worst things that's bad for you, man. You be out here eating pork. You be out here eating seafood, right? When I say seafood, you know what I'm talking about, because this is not even supposed to be called seafood. It's supposed to be called crustaceans, according to Esau, right? Seafood should be salmon, right? Because it's actually food. Salmon. What else fishes are in the sea? Tuna. All these fishes with scales, right? And if it's in the river, it has to be scales, a scaled fish, you know. But here you are, out here eating all the foods that brings diseases and death unto you, right? So let's get the word pulse. Meaning, let's see what it says here. Let's get diet. Let's get pulse diet and see what it is. Pulse can count either toward the vegetable group recommendation or toward the protein food group. Right, recommendation nutrition recommended 1.5 cups of beans, peas, or lentils per week, or part of a 2,000 calorie diet. The recommendation for the vegetable group are in the cups. So let's see what it's in the pulse. This is what you Jakes should be eating anyways, right? Chickpeas, garbanzo beans, dry peas, lentils. Increasingly, so it says here, being recognized for their role in promoting good health. Researchers have reported that regular consumption of pulse may reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and certain types of cancer, right? So cancer has always been here. These other nations have always had cancer because what? They always eat these abominable foods, right? And you Israelites never really got these diseases because in the past we followed that dietary law, and when we went off, we got punished for it. Now we're seeing the punishment of these Israelites that's eating these abominations. Okay, pulses are a versatile, easy to prepare ingredient that can be used in entrees, salads, breads, and desserts. Right. So this is a pulse right here. It's an example. You see, you have beans, And you know what's crazy? I actually made this a couple of last week actually, without knowing, um, without knowing what I was doing, but that it was pulse, right? That I was eating, but I had this. I made this exact food right here. What you see here: tomatoes, beans, corn. Apparently, corn is not it's not healthy, but that's not what the Bible says. You have corn, and mostly I had a bunch of beans, right? I had red beans, which are my favorite kidney beans here. I had a mixed beans. I had black eyed peas, right? And I made this with the bison, you know. So this is what the Lord really requires, as a healthy diet. Our forefathers, they were very strict with their diet, you know, and it's a big, big part of being an Israelite is having a healthy diet. Also, it's not just a spiritual. The Lord wants us to He wants us to excel in the spiritual aspect of this walk, right? But He also wants us to be following His physical dietary laws, which leads to having a cleaner spiritual walk in this thing of ours. The role of pulses in a healthy diet. Pulses are a type of legumes, seeds that grows within pods. Pulses include chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, lentils, and dry peas. Pulses provides protein, dietary fiber, and many vitamins and minerals. They also contain phytochemicals, plant chemicals, that may reduce the risk of certain types of cancers and other diseases as a result of their nutritional properties. The 2010 U.S. Dietary Guidelines for American recommends more frequent consumption of lentils, dry peas, and beans. Okay, so this is what a pulse diet contains: grains, right? Vegetables, protein, and fruits. You know, dairy you can go with. Back then we had really good milk, right? But now it's mixed with pus and all that shit, right? So this goes into Ezekiel, right? Which I'm gonna get next and finish this video off. Pulse can count either toward the vegetable group recommendation or toward the protein group food groups recommendation. Nutrition experts recommend 1.5 cups of beans, peas, or lentils per week, as per 2,000 calorie diet. Okay, so you can go down more and read a little bit more. You can get, I can even get deeper into this video too. Didn't know I was gonna find so much information on pulse, but let's get Ezekiel 4 9 says here, because now we're literally seeing that this prophecy has come to pass many times over, right? If you really want to see how much these Edomites really hate us, in the 1990s, I think there was a place in Russia. It starts with a T. Let me see. Hold on. Nuclear milk. Nuclear milk to America. Okay. Forgot what that place is called. Radioactive milk. This came out a couple of years ago. Esau used to bring those radioactive milk in the hood for you Israelites to drink. What's that place in Russia, man? Fuck. Slovakia. There's a place in Russia. Starts with T. Country in Russia. No, country in. Starts with T. Let me see if I can. Okay, Turkey, no, Tanzania. There's a country in Russia. I would have said that, whatever. But anyways, it starts with a T anyways. But they bombed that place, and they used to use that milk to drop it off in the hood, right? Radioactive milk. Let me see. Let me try it again. Milk fed to blacks, to black neighborhoods. Let me see what it says here. U.S. government ships radioactive milk to black communities as a part of a genocide. Let me see. To black communities as a part of a genocide plot. Yep, this happened. It says here, high diabetes among African Americans are caused by a genocidal government plot to ship weaponized radioactive milk to black communities. This came out a couple of years ago. It's not a conspiracy, so shut the fuck up. I guess it's a place that starts with a T, starts with a CH. Charbonneau. Okay, hold on. Why do poor and ethnic minorities communities in New York have much higher rates of diabetes than the rest of affluent part of New York City? The answer is that we discovered after Chernobyl that Chernobyl, right? Slovakia, Chernobyl. It's in Russia. Yeah, Chernobyl, Slovakia. It's a T, but it's actually CH. That states that milk boards are taking the most contaminated radioactive milk from dairies near nuclear power plants, and they are shipping it into black inner city communities where it's sold in the mom and pop store. U.S. national policy is to genocide the black communities with radiation, right? So this is not a joke, okay? Eat your bread. Defiled. Slovakia. Ezekiel 4 and 12 says, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man, and in their sight. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. And so Ezekiel mixing all the grains together. If you ever look at the Ezekiel diet, these are the things that we should be eating, grains, pulse, right? Just to stay in that balanced diet section where you don't go off into, being obese, having heart disease, having cancers, and all these things. It's supposed to be done with fasting and praying also, right? So this is why we're out here eating bacon. Well, not us, the ones that know, right? Because the Lord is going to protect some of His men, right? Because we eat a lot of things not knowing that there's pork in these things, right? So all of us are literally not exempt. We have to go through these curses, right? And that's why we know the Lord can turn it up on any of us at any time, because we sin every day, man, right? So this is us eating our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles, right? Because Esau, Edom, is making sure that we sin daily, even with the food. So I'll say shalom.